Hello, everyone. This is your host, Debra Poneman, and I'd like to welcome you to our call with today's guest, Jeff Gignac. Jeff is a clinical hypnotherapist, a licensed master practitioner of Neuro-Linguistic Programming, and an expert in goal achievement. Jeff is also the creator and innovator of nearly 100 acclaimed Brainwave Entrainment audios and meditation programs that continue to revolutionize the field of personal development. Jeff has not only helped thousands of individuals like ourselves to overcome challenges and live our dreams, but organizations as well, ranging from government-funded agencies to expert panels to corporations. In fact, he's considered by many to be the world's leading creator and innovator in brainwave entrainment technology and in helping people live the exact life we want faster and easier than we ever thought possible. And today, Jeff is going to share with us some amazing information, including how to bridge the gap between our conscious and subconscious minds so we can access our own personal power, our inner wisdom, and guidance anytime we wish. We're also going to experience the law of attraction like never before by eliminating the two most common problems that cause struggle and block manifestation in our lives. We're also going to experience an empowering strategy for eliminating subconscious resistance, removing self-doubt, and boosting our self-confidence to levels beyond what most people will ever experience. We'll discover how to effortlessly create the exact emotions we want as often as we wish. And finally, we are actually going to have a direct experience of a brainwave entrainment audio. I'm so excited. Looking forward to that. So, Jeff, thank you for joining us today. Welcome to the call.
Well, thank you, Debra. I'm really excited to be here.
And I am excited to have you here. And most people that know you as one of the most sought-after experts in brainwave entrainment technology. But what we would love to know is, how did you get started? Can you tell us a little bit about your journey?
Yeah, my story, Debra, is one day I'm going to write a book about it because it's had so many twists and turns, all amazing, that really added up to, the success that I enjoy today. What I would like to share, though, with you really is about one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. And this is critically important because this really sums up my journey and what really allowed me to break free of the life that I really didn't like at all and create the exact life that I now enjoy, that I want to live. And really, this is about a decision and a process that I went through. And many years ago, I decided to get recertified in Neuro-Linguistic Programming because the first time I got certified was when I was 15 years old. I mean, I think I was one of the youngest in history, so I was told at that time. And so what I did is I sought out a master trainer of NLP named Elizabeth Butler. She runs a training school in Toronto. And what she did for me was absolutely amazing. She helped me. She started off as a teacher, and then she became a mentor. And now I'm honored to call her a lifelong friend. But the reason why I say it was one of the best decisions of my life is because she's the one that guided me through one of the most powerful shifts in consciousness that changed my life forever. She taught me to let go of the idea of controlling and managing my emotions in favor for creating emotions that naturally connect with my goals and desires. And so when she was first teaching this to me, at first I resisted this concept because I didn't really understand it. But once I started to think about it and play with it, I came to understand why this is so important. You might have heard that it takes more muscles and more energy to frown than it does to smile, right? And the same is true here. It takes way more energy to manage and control emotions than it does to create them. And once I started creating the right emotions at the right time that lined up with what I was doing and what I was focusing on, my behavior changed. The way I approached things changed. And decisions and the choices that I made moment to moment, day after day, changed. And, before I made the shift, I struggled in my business. I struggled to find opportunities. I felt like I was constantly chasing down my dreams. And it seemed like my dreams and my goals were actually running away from me as fast as I was chasing them. But after I made this shift, every major opportunity that has brought me success and happiness has actually come to me. I mean, every major opportunity. And in every single instance, it started with a phone call or an email. I've not had to go look for anything. The opportunities just keep finding me. And since I made this shift in my life, I've been telling everybody about it. And, what's really amazing is that the fact that I'm here talking to you today, Debra, and your audience, is a perfect example of that. I mean, I wouldn't be here unless somebody from your office picked up the phone and called me.
Well, you have us on the edge of our seats, because when you said that your dreams and your goals were running away from you the more you pursued them, I think a lot of us are saying, yeah, that sounds like me. And now they keep finding you. So what is the most common problem that people, you're talking about the law of attraction, and so many of us try to utilize the law of attraction, and it just doesn't work a lot of the time. So what do you see are the most common problems that people face when they try to use something like the law of attraction?
Well, let me just start off by saying one thing, is that it sounds like I'm talking about the law of attraction. In some ways I am, right? And, it's often, I've been telling people this for years, and I love the response that I get from, the NLP community and the hypnosis community. People respond and say, that's right, it makes perfect sense. You're reprogramming yourself using positive emotions. And the neuroscientists and people that study the brain say, of course this works, because your emotions are ultimately tied to our behaviors, our actions, and every single emotion allows us to access different areas of our brain, right? So of course, having really great emotions and maximizing that is this would work as well. And the law of attraction, people that align themselves with the law of attraction often respond with "show me," which I love. It's my favorite response, right? Because I know that what I'm going to share, people are going to use. So, yes, it is a law of attraction. I'm talking about that, but it's an all-encompassing concept that really is a consciousness concept. So I love talking about it in terms of law of attraction. So I'll answer that question. And for me, the law of attraction is a simple concept that like attracts like. And the external reality that we experience, money, cars, house, jobs, relationships, health, is a mirror reflection of what's going on inside us, right? Our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, our beliefs. And so to put it another way, the life you desire to live has an energetic value or frequency, right? Mm-hmm. How you experience the world through your thoughts, emotions, feelings, and beliefs also has an energetic value, a frequency. So the law of attraction says that these things will essentially be equal to another, right? So this is how most people understand the law of attraction. But the problem with that is that understanding it in this way doesn't really give people a lot of information about how to use it. And I think this is at the core of why so many people struggle with it. So if I continue to break this down, if the things that you desire, the life you want to live, has a vibrational frequency, and the life you presently have is a mere reflection of your current vibrational frequency, then the most important question to ask is, how do I raise, how do I change, how do I shift my present vibrational frequency to match the vibrational frequency of the life I want to live? Right? Mm-hmm. Science tells us that every thought, every feeling and emotion we have as an individual creates energy that radiates outward into the universe. In other words, our experience of the world creates a vibrational frequency that can be measured. And this is my favorite part, because we can measure them, and we have a number of tools that can detect this energy. We can detect brain waves as we think, as we feel. We can measure the electromagnetic frequencies that our bodies emanate. And these electromagnetic frequencies and brain waves change as we think and feel. So for me, it's important to understand that the energy that our bodies and our brains create is real energy, and it interacts with everything around us. And so the one thing that has the most profound effect on what that energy looks like is our feelings and emotions. So as our feelings and emotions change, so does the energy in our bodies and the electricity that flows in our brains. So therefore, the most reliable way to change our vibrational frequency, the energy, the electricity in our bodies, is through our emotions, by purposefully changing our feelings and emotions. So to say it another way, the overall state of our emotional operating system, which is the combination of our thoughts, emotions, and feelings, equals our overall vibrational frequency, which equals our ability to use the law of attraction and achieve our goals. I often say that desire starts with thoughts that builds into feelings and emotions. It is, however, the feelings and emotions that give desires its attractive force in the universe, right? It's the internal energy. It creates the internal energy to do whatever it takes to achieve your goals. So when people ask me to help them with their goals or their ability to use the law of attraction, the first thing that I do is I walk them through an emotional inventory of their average day or their average week. And what's amazing is that for many people, this is really hard to believe. About 50% of the people that I work with that come and find me in my office believe that for the most part, they're using the law of attraction correctly or whatever goal strategy that they're using. And it must be some little detail that's causing their problem, their struggles with it. And when I'm working with an individual, a person, it's really easy to show them what's going on. So, because this is part of that measuring thing. So what I do is I attach a device to their head. It's an EEG. It's about 14 EEG sensors to their head. So, and what that does is it measures brainwaves. So I can monitor their brainwaves and then have them think about each day of the past week. And I do this because electrical brainwave activity correlates very strongly with thoughts and emotions, right? And also, the brain really responds in the same way about whatever we visualize and connect with as if it's really happening. So what I do is I guide them through every experience and emotion, and I record all the electrical brainwave activity that shows up on my equipment. So what I'm doing is I'm getting prepared to show them something really amazing, and so I record all this. Typically, what I see is that the brainwave activity from day to day is pretty much the same. I mean, there's just not a lot of variation. So then what I start to do is I start to ask them about their goals, the life that they want to live, all the things that they want to manifest. And what's amazing, Debra, is that you can see their brainwave patterns change almost instantly. Then what I do is I have them imagine as if they have already achieved their goal. And I ask them to imagine feeling the satisfaction of having accomplished what they set out to do. And just like magic, you can see the brainwaves begin to pulse and vibrate with some very distinct frequencies that are radically different than their typical daily experience produces. And this is really the jaw-dropping part. The instant they reach that moment where they're feeling and experience the satisfaction and all the other emotions that go with having achieved their goals, their brain lights up in one of the most beautiful ways you can imagine. So what I do then is that after I'm done taking brainwave readings from them, I sit them down and I show them what their average day-to-day brainwave activity looks like. Explaining once again how the electrical brainwave activity correlates with their thoughts and emotions. Then I show them their brainwave activity as they start to think about their goals, the life they truly desire. And then I show them what happens in the brain when they start feeling that satisfaction as if they've already achieved their goals. And they're absolutely blown away, right? Remember, most of the people that come and ask for my help that actually come to my office believe they're doing everything right, right? And so when, this is where their jaw drops. They instantly understand when they see the difference of what their day-to-day emotional life looks like compared to, those feelings when they're associated with their goals. They're absolutely amazed. So the next step in this process is I have them practice those powerful feelings and emotions that are specific to the goals and the life they want to live until they can do it on demand. Like, I don't let them leave until I can see that they're able to produce these emotions and these feelings pretty much anytime they want to in front of me. And so the whole idea of teaching them to do that is so they can begin to bring these feelings and emotions in their daily lives. Now, having done this many times, I noticed a couple things. The vast majority of people can't practice this to the extent that's required without some additional help. I've also noticed that when people leave my office with the ability to call up these emotions on demand, they often will fail to do it enough so that it really begins to work for them. So I really started to investigate why that is, and this is what I discovered. When people have organized, balanced beta brainwave activity, especially in the mid to higher ranges, people seem to easily create, shift, and enhance their emotions in any way they choose, and they're able to do it within seconds. It seems to be a natural ability that everybody has. But when people have disorganized and unbalanced brainwave activity, especially in the beta ranges, they find it nearly impossible to create and sustain emotions on demand. And so for me, this was a big surprise, because traditionally when we think about things like emotional control and things of this nature, we tend to think about deep meditative states. I mean, there's a lot of research that says when we enter deep meditative states like alpha and theta, we gain these abilities to, control our behavior. And traditionally, beta brainwaves, especially higher beta brainwaves, are usually associated with stress and distress. But those higher beta brainwaves only create those negative emotions when they're disorganized, unbalanced, and chaotic, right? So when your beta brainwave activity is organized, balanced, and in step with the rest of your brain, what I've found is that your ability to create, sustain, and enhance feelings and emotions goes right through the roof, right? It becomes easy. And in some cases, it's almost effortless. And just with a little practice, even if you've never really tried it before, once you get that beta brainwave activity all organized and nice and balanced, people can do it like they've been doing it all their life. So what I did is I started to create brainwave entrainment technology that you just listen to, that is designed to stimulate and activate the type of beta brainwave activity that makes it easy to create and sustain and enhance feelings and emotions.
Wow, that is amazing. So for those of us at home who don't have direct access to you and your equipment, how can we determine how far away we are emotionally or vibrationally, I guess, from being able to create the life that we want?
Well, this is actually pretty easy because you don't have to see the brainwaves in real time, like some of my clients get to see, to get a good sense of what's going inside your body, right, and inside your mind. And this is, again, because brainwave activity correlates strongly with emotion and feelings. And, oftentimes I can tell what a person is feeling. I can tell what emotion they're going through just by looking at their brainwaves, right? So what I can do is walk you through a little bit of an experience and actually demonstrate. So if you'd like to know how far you might be, emotionally, the kind of emotions you want to keep with you day after day, I'd love to show you a little exercise.
That would be great. We're ready.
All right. So please, if you're driving or doing anything, possibly dangerous, please do not do this exercise because I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. So only do this if you can close your eyes safely. So what I'd like you to do is close your eyes and imagine yesterday, what you went through yesterday. I want you to, in your mind, go all the way back to the beginning of the day. Go all the way back to the beginning of the day. Imagine waking up, seeing yourself as you woke up, or experience it in any way you like. Some people have trouble visualizing, and that's okay. Just go through the experience of waking up and every single thing that you did throughout your morning. And I want you to think about the emotions that you had. Was there stress? Was there happiness? What are the things that happened and what emotions did you go through? And then do the same thing through the afternoon. I want you to really pay attention to the range of emotions that you went through throughout the course of your entire day, up to the point that you went to bed. And it's okay to think about and experience maybe some of the negative because we're going to get rid of that later, right? But it's really important to feel the range of emotions that you experienced all through the day yesterday. After you've done that, I want you to go back to the day before. And we'll do this a little bit quicker. thinking about what you did in the morning, what happened in the morning, the things you watched, the people you interacted with, and think about the emotions you went through, moving through the morning to the afternoon, then into the evening, and before you went to bed. And catalog all the range of emotions that you went through. And then go back the day before. So we're 3 days backwards, and do the same thing. Experience in your mind and your body the range of emotions that you went through for the course of that day. And then do it one more time, so going back 4 days. Again, think about the good, the bad. Experience the range of emotions that you went through. All right. Now open your eyes. Now, what I find a lot for many people is that the range of emotions that people go through is kind of the same day after day after day. Did you get that experience as well, Debra?
Yes, actually, I did.
Right? I mean, the first time I did this myself, I thought, my goodness, I'm kind of boring. I've got to spice this up a little bit. Well, really, I mean, that's the sense that I got when I first did this exercise with myself. So now what I want you to do is, everybody, you can close your eyes again. Again, only do this when you can be perfectly safe. And now I want you to think about the exact life that you want to live. I want you to think about what that means to you. I want you to bring in all the emotions, all the energy that's associated with all your goals and desires. Maybe even think about having just achieved one of the biggest goals on your bucket list. And think about you explaining it to somebody, maybe one of your best friends, celebrating. So you're going to go to somebody and they're going to celebrate with you your success. I want you to think about that and bring those emotions into your mind, into your body. I want you to feel it from your head to your toes and all the way back up to your nose again. I want you to begin to vibrate with the feelings of satisfaction as you have just achieved all your goals. And as you continue with your life, you are living the exact life that you want to live, and the satisfaction that brings. You feel that through every pore of your body. And when I count to 2, that's right, just 2, I want you to double it. Right? And you can ask your unconscious mind just to double those emotions, because multiplication is unconscious, right? What's 2 times 2? 4, right? From the count of 2, I want you to just to ask yourself to double those positive feelings. 1, 2, double it. Whew. That's right. Mm-hmm. Breathe, begin to feel it. And you know what? I want you to double it again, one more time, until you are absolutely vibrating with the feeling of satisfaction as you've already achieved your goal, and you're telling your family and your friends and all that emotion. Feel that. Whew. All right. Okay. Now, open your eyes. Did you feel a difference there? It's a big resounding yes, isn't it?
Yes.
So you think about the feelings that you have, the range of emotions that you experience every single day, right? I don't have to show you your brainwave, for you to understand that the positive emotions that I just guided everybody through is radically different, right? It's radically different.
Yes.
So that feeling of how it's different between those two things is pretty much how far you're off. So if you're thinking about, well, why can't I get the law of attraction to work? Why am I not achieving my goals? Well, the range of emotions that you're feeling day to day, okay, are far away from these emotions that you really ought to be carrying with you every single day, right? Which is these positive feelings that I just guided you through. So the goal is to bring those feelings into your life, to create those emotions, because that's what we did, right? Through that visualization, I helped you create those emotions. And so the goal is to bring in those emotions, those vibrations that come with it, as much as you can every day of your life.
And I totally agree. But the question is, how do you maintain? I mean, that felt so good. I mean, I'm still smiling ear to ear. But how do you maintain that emotional vibration and frequency throughout the day when stuff comes up? I mean, do you have to consistently bring to mind your goals so you can stay connected with them? Because that seems like something that would be a little bit hard to do for most people, considering we have to do other things during our day.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes it can be difficult. For most people, it is hard. And it's because most people, their daily lives are filled with stress and chaos and many other low vibration emotions that do not, by their very nature, allow people to naturally produce the type of brainwave activity to make this easy. This is a natural state. Remember this, right? Your ability to create emotions like this is a natural state. However, when the beta brainwave activity, this is what I found, is all disorganized, it's very hard to do, which again makes it hard to do because our daily lives are usually filled with so much chaos and stress that our brainwave activity is all messed up. So it makes it difficult. So, one of the ways that you can do this is do the exercise that I did with you today as many times per day as you can, right? And, so you could listen to this whole audio again and listen to the words that I use and, force yourself to do it morning, noon, and night, every day, day after day. Force yourself to do it despite the way you feel. And over time, what's going to happen is you'll be able to create those feelings on demand and carry them with you more often. Now, doing it this way is not easy. I mean, it takes a long time. It takes a lot of motivation. It takes a lot of dedication and commitment. But the payoff is amazing. I mean, because what you're really doing, think about it this way, what you're doing is you're training yourself to feel the way you want to feel when you want to feel it. And training yourself to do this is a skill, right? And because it's a skill, it works like every other skill, practice, right? In many ways, I believe this is the ultimate skill because once you can feel the way you want to feel on demand, you really can achieve anything, right? It makes sense. Now, the other option is to use what I did for my clients, a specific type of brainwave entrainment technology to assist you, because what I've found is that when people go back in their lives, they really have a hard time getting this done. But when you can get your brain to vibrate with nice, balanced, and organized brainwave activity, practicing creating those feelings on demand becomes fast and easy. You can do it sometimes like with just a thought, a snap of your fingers. And typically, people will begin to improve within days instead of months and years. So it's basically using technology to assist you in sorting out your brain waves will help you practice this. And once you start practicing this, Debra, once you go through 1 or 2 days with this kind of vibration in your life, things start to move. Imagine going through an entire day or the vast majority of your day, regardless of what you're doing, right? Feeling the way you just felt and that you continue to feel from that exercise. Imagine that. Well, it's absolutely amazing how fast things change.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just have to share with you a true confession, and that is in order to prepare for this interview, I utilized some of your brainwave entrainment modules, and you said it's possible to improve your life within days. Is it possible to improve your life within minutes? Because my experience was I didn't feel great when I got up this morning because I didn't get a lot of sleep. I ate some bad food last night. I was really sluggish. I was really unclear. And I listened to this 20-minute audio, and I don't know if it was my imagination, but I am telling you, I had a slight headache. It was gone. And my work that I expected to have to slog through, I was like, boom, boom, boom. My mind was clear. Now, is it possible to happen that quickly?
Yes, it is. And oftentimes it does. But I don't often go tell people that because I don't want people to go, oh, yeah, sure, right? I'd like to keep things a little bit more realistic. But absolutely. The technology that I've created and I've spent years and years creating and perfecting and working on every single aspect of getting the brain to vibrate in a specific way, stimulating it inside these particular beta ranges, you'll know it. Most people feel it the very first time they listen. They'll get an experience the very first time. And then they take the knowledge that I just gave you that says, how do you create emotions and think about them? And then they begin to do that during the course of the day. Things shift very fast in their lives, very, very quickly.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to it because I really I felt different. I felt clearer, happier, more optimistic that I was going to get done when I needed to get done before this interview. And also, you said earlier that you said something like assuming that a person has great goals and they don't create any subconscious resistance, that the ability to create the necessary emotions on demand will equal the success you have. But how can we tell if our goals or what we want to manifest is creating subconscious resistance?
Yeah, that's the other part of the equation, right? I mean, if you have great goals, the number one limiting factor to creating the life you want to live is your emotional state, the range of emotions that you experience every single day. But that's assuming you have great goals. If you don't have great goals, well, then you've got two things to contend with. But figuring out if you've got really great goals and working with this is actually much easier than you would expect. You know, you have to understand that the vast majority of subconscious resistance comes from either bad beliefs, self-doubt, self-worth, things like that. And fixing the issue in relation to your goals and the life that you want to live and the life you want to create is also easy if you follow a couple instructions. I mean, most subconscious resistance is created based on how you set your goals, right? So if you change the way you set your goals, you can eliminate the vast majority of subconscious resistance before it even has a chance to slow you down. You stop it before it even starts. And because you've eliminated the resistance, you begin to manifest and achieve your goals faster. And what happens is that source of resistance anyway begins to disappear. So we're not eliminating the source of the resistance right away, but as you begin to achieve your goals, the actual source of it disappears as well. The majority of the resistance that comes from the subconscious mind is because it lacks social proof. I mean, if you really study neuroscience, right, one of the things the subconscious mind wants is social proof. If you say, I can do this, it wants to know and has some evidence that it can do it. I mean, think about this. If you had, a lot of people have financial goals, right? They'll say, I want to make $10,000 a month. I want to make $1 million a month, or whatever the case is. And maybe they're currently making $50,000 a year. Well, that's a great goal. I support that goal, right? But setting a goal that way will trigger a radical amount of subconscious resistance from people that will lead to self-sabotaging behavior, that will lead to self-doubt and all these things. But, before you get $1 million, you'll probably have 500,000. And before 500,000, you'll probably have 250. And before 250, you'll probably, you see what I'm getting at? And if what you have in your pocket right now is $10, then your first low-hanging fruit chunk is $15, right? And then when you achieve that goal, you celebrate. But by doing it, this small little chunks at a time, you won't trigger any kind of subconscious resistance, right? But what you will do is you'll build momentum, right? You'll build momentum. Each piece of, so you're never really going for a goal that's anything more than low-hanging fruit. They're all low-hanging fruit goals because you're standing on the success of each one before. And as you get these successes, the reasons why you had, doubt and all that stuff will just disappear naturally.
Tell me some examples. Did you have somebody who got like some big goal by starting out with small?
Absolutely, myself, and everybody I've trained. I've had people, start a publishing company and make, out of nowhere that have been trying to achieve their goals. Someone, just a friend of mine, his wife wanted to start a yoga studio because they wanted to quit the job that they were in, and this was their dream, but they had all kinds of self-doubt. They had all kinds of problems, and so what we did is we rewrote the goal, right, to figure out what was the real issue, what they really wanted to focus. We chunked it down into these little tiny steps. Well, what do you have to do first? And literally in 6 months, yoga studio open, job quit that it didn't want. It's called the easy way of doing things. You don't have to focus on all the things that have held you back in the past. You don't have to focus on changing negative beliefs. You just have to take a little bit of small, tiny action. And the danger is that some people will say, well, I have $10 in my pocket. I don't want to set a goal to do $15. It's too small. How do I motivate myself for that? Well, what you do is you keep your eye on the big goal, right? But you go for that small thing, and you do it with the understanding that you're reprogramming your subconscious mind for success, little pieces at a time. And when you do it this way, you'll actually go farther and faster than if you do it any other way. And there's a lot of research to support this. The other way is that you go have years of therapy trying to find the source of bad beliefs and self-doubt, right? And spend countless hours trying to reprogram it. I find this much easier just to set up your goals in such a way that will allow for all the stuff to be replaced by supporting beliefs. And this is how it's done. Well, many people claim that they have a lot of issues with money. Maybe they grew up in a family that was poverty consciousness and it was programmed in, right? Or maybe that they've gathered all kinds of really bad beliefs about money and having money. And that's understandable. And again, I would rather you not spend years trying to eliminate those. What I would rather you do is you change the nature of your goal. A really great story is that one of my teachers and mentors, Elizabeth, she had a client that wanted to get this raise in her job and focused on it. She wanted the more money to live the life that she wanted to live. And she was constantly passed up by other people, and she just struggled to get to this goal. And she was always focused on the money. But she had so many negative beliefs about money that were programmed in her, right, from when she was really young, that money's bad, that money's evil, that money's, comes with all this negative connotations. You can't trust people anymore. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So what Elizabeth asked her to do is said, okay, let's forget about money for a little bit. Let's think about something that you really love that costs money. Well, this person was somewhat addicted to buying shoes. She was, she never saw somebody with so many shoes in her life. And one of the things that made her more happy than anything else in the world was going out to buy $2,000 pair of shoes. Wow. I don't know what those look like, but, my wife does maybe, but, I just, but the thing is, she needs money to go buy the shoes, right? So what she did, she had her change her focus. Instead of setting the goal, to manifest the money by getting the raise, she said, let's change the goal to getting all the shoes that you want. And go out to the stores, pick out the most expensive shoes in the world, pick out 50 of them, and set a goal to get those shoes. And then chunk it down, right, a little bit by little bit. Well, what happened is that she got this promotion within 7 months, or 6 months, I think it was, okay? And something else fascinating happened. Shoes just started showing up at her doors. Like somebody would say, I bought these shoes and they don't fit or they hurt my feet. Here, would you like them? Right? Wow. So, which is amazing. But that's one of the ways that you can overcome, subconscious resistance in terms of money. What you do is you set a goal that doesn't have to do with money directly, but maybe that goal requires money, right? In order to, like, the path of least resistance to achieve the goal is usually money. And that will actually help you get rid of a lot of the negative programming and subconscious resistance in regards to money. Now, finally, there are a few other forms of subconscious resistance that can come up that I've not addressed specifically, and they can vary based on the individual. And most people probably already know this, but put your goals in the positive, right? You're always going to state what it is that you love, that you desire, right? You never talk about things that you don't want. We all know this, right? Put goals in the positive. The other one, this is really important. Make your goals about you and not other people, because one of the biggest sources of subconscious resistance comes from the idea that your goal is really not under your control. A lot of people will set goals that say, maybe I want this person to be attracted to me. Well, I've heard this is one of them. Well, that's not up to you. And I've had people come in and ask me that and say, can you help me with this goal? And I say, well, that's the wrong way of doing things. Okay, what you do is you say, how can I become the person that these people will like? Mm-hmm. See the subtle shift in language?
Yeah.
Right? This is right out of NLP and hypnosis. You're making that subtle shift in language that makes it about you, and guess what happens? The subconscious resistance vanishes instantly because you are in control of you, not of other people. So if you set your goal about you, right, you can move forward unabated. Right? And the third thing is to write them down. Writing goals down is amazing. Not typing them. There's research that shows right now that writing them down is actually better than typing them or doing it or doing whatever way you want to do it. Writing them down causes the brain to light up, and I've watched this in real time as I put my EEG devices on people's brain, and I go type them out, now write them out. What happens is you're writing your goals down. The fine motor control that's required causes the brain to light up in a whole different way, and so you get a whole different type of neural netting. Okay, this is from neuroscientists, neuroplasticity, and that neural netting changes the way the electricity flows in the brain. It broadens it to more areas of the brain, and then you have more access to resources in regards to achieving your goals. And also, in terms of the law of attraction, guess what? It's the first step of taking what's inside your brain and turning it into matter. Your goals are a desire, they're a fantasy, right? You take a pen, and then ink comes out of the pen and changes matter right in front of you. So it's that first step in creating momentum, and getting that out of your head and putting it into the universe.
Wow. I love this. This is absolutely amazing. And I love how uncomplicated it is and how simple it can actually be when we have this knowledge that you're sharing with us.
Yeah, I mean, I love it too. I mean, I've spent years and years perfecting strategies and technologies to make this process simple so people can just get on with it, right, and create the life of their dreams. I mean, I've had some of my first clients where I was helping people at the age of 17 years old, right? I've been doing this for a long time. And what I've realized is that transformations really can happen simply. We just have to focus on the right things, right? And you don't have to go through all the stress. You don't have to go through all the struggle that typically comes with self-development and goal achievement and using the law of attraction, right? You can do things simply. Don't let it fool you. It works.
Okay. Well, we want to know how to make it as simple as possible because everything that you've shared with us makes complete sense. And I know I, for one, would love to know the technology that you're going to be offering us because I know that you put together a special offer and you said that you had technology that does make it easy to begin creating and maintaining the right emotional state that will match up with their vibrational frequency. And so can you tell us more about what you have for us?
Sure. Well, recently I created a program called Deep Conscious Awakening that is specifically designed to make it increasingly easier for anybody to create and maintain emotional states on demand, which we've talked about is critically important. If you want to achieve your goals and activate your brain in the right way and use the law of attraction, the difference between the emotions you regularly feel and the emotions that you have to feel, you have to bridge that gap. Right? So I've created this program because after examining, all the brainwaves of people that struggle specifically in goal achievement and using the law of attraction, I've contrasted it with people that do it easily because there are people that do it easily, right? They're out there and I've sought them out and I've hooked them up to my equipment. I go, that's neat. There are some very profound differences. And as I mentioned earlier, when I tested people that struggle, they tend to produce disorganized, unbalanced, unconnected beta brainwaves. And they do it mainly out of habit as a response to the life and the environment that they live in, right? And that's the thing that stops you, and it's completely understandable of how this happens to people, especially when you consider how fast-paced our lives have gotten, right? I mean, I don't say any of this stuff because I don't want anybody to go, it's all my fault, it's whatever. But, our lives are complicated. And when you combine that with economic stress and, the integration of technology that's interrupting us with texts and emails every 8 seconds, right? Our lives and all the negative energy that comes from the news and the media, right? All this stuff has a consequence on our brain, and it actually causes our beta brainwaves to go all wonky, to become disorganized. And anybody that lives in the world right now, especially, I tested people 10 years ago. It's worse now than it ever has been because of technology, because of the media, because of the negativity and all the interruptions in our lives. And for me, it's an absolute miracle that anyone ever finds their way to creating the life they want to live on their own without some help. Like I said, it took me a long time to find a few people that just do it naturally, right? But the difference that makes a difference is that for whatever reason, their beta brainwaves are organized and controlled and in step with the rest of their brain, and they can shift and maintain emotions on demand easily. So with just a simple thought or intention, they can have really organized, great mid and high beta brainwave activity. And this is what you want. So I created this technology specifically to do this. What makes this really different than anything I've ever created before is that the vast majority of programs that use brainwave entrainment, brainwave stimulation technology are more focused on creating deep meditative states, which is great, right? Meditate, if you meditate an hour a day with a great track or just without a track on your own, it's really, really good for you. And it can have a lot of great results for you over the years and over time. But dropping down into deep meditative states is not the ideal state for you when you have to function during the day, right? Doesn't make sense. And those deeper meditative states are not where people are having the problems. People are having the problems when they're conscious. And guess what? When you're conscious, guess what brainwave activities you're using? It's beta brainwaves. Those are the brainwaves that are associated with consciousness. So, if you want to make some great changes using meditation, you can do that, and it's going to take some time. But the reason it doesn't translate immediately when people use meditation to their lives is because when they're conscious, they're in the beta range. So this program is designed to fix the problem where people are at in every moment of their conscious lives. So this program is very unique in that it addresses specifically the single most important factor that stops people from creating success, money, better relationships, and so on, by dramatically increasing your ability to create the emotions that match up with the life you want to live. So what I'd actually like to do at this moment in time is have you listen to a sample. What we've done, we've loaded up an audio sample that you can begin to experience this technology for yourself. And now you have to understand that it's not at the same quality, right, as you would get in the actual program, the CD. It's hard to translate that, the great quality of the audio over the phone. However, if you have the opportunity, and if you're in a place that's really safe, I encourage everybody to grab a set of headphones, right, and listen to this audio sample. Right? Close your eyes if you like, and just let it stimulate your brainwave activity, and you'll get an experience of what this technology is really all about. And you'll begin to feel it from the very first time that you listen. So we'll give you a second to maybe set up for that, get your headphones, and again, only do this when you can do it safely. And then we'll start that sample. All right. So, what did you think? I guess
I said earlier that I experienced 20 minutes, and that, I don't know what it was, 5 minutes was, I actually can almost physically feel my brain rearranging itself or something. Is that a common experience?
It is, because what's happening is that as this is affecting your conscious state, it's not designed to drop you in a deep meditative state. We're already in the conscious state. If you're conscious and you're awake, you're using beta brainwaves. And what this is specifically designed to do is organize your beta brainwaves. It's designed to stimulate them in such a way that they become highly balanced, highly organized, and connected with the rest of your brain in step. So when you go to access, that inner wisdom and that intuition, all those things, all your internal resources become accessible. They're not accessible when your brainwave activity is all disorganized. So while most people's brainwave activity were probably somewhat organized after listening to this call, even when they are organized, listening to this technology will just bring it that much further, and you'll feel it right away. You'll be clear. You'll be able to access your subconscious resources for anything that you set your mind to.
Fantastic. Can you share with us what's possible, maybe a couple of amazing turnarounds that people have experienced with your brainwave entrainment technology?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I get thousands of testimonials a year, literally. There's a couple that stick out in my mind. One was a gentleman named Sean. He sent me a video testimonial, and what he said that he made more money in 2 months than he did in the last 2 years using the technology, getting clear, going after his goals. To me, that is absolutely amazing. That's a big example, but it's an incredible example. Just the other day, there's a lady who found my private number. I had no idea how she got it, but this happens to me once in a while. People just find me and call me, and she said, "Is this Jeff?" And I said yes, and she kind of got a little excited. It made me embarrassed almost, right? But and she said, "I just want to thank you, Jeff, for all the work and the technology you've created, because it literally saved my life." I asked her, I said, "Really, tell me about it." And she went on to tell me the course of the last few years, what she'd been through. Terrible abusive relationship, in debt up to her ears, didn't feel like she had any way out, had contemplated suicide. It was at that point. That's what she meant by saying that it saved her life. And what happened is, as she began to use the technology, she got a lot more clear. She was able to create the emotions associated with the life that she wanted to create, and she was able to maintain them through the day. And she completely turned her life around. She got away from the abusive relationship and started her own business. And absolutely amazing. Can you imagine? I mean, this is some of the stories that come in. I mean, they're not all that dramatic, right? I mean, I'm giving you some really, really big examples about what's possible, but I know the stuff works, and I can show people the brainwaves. But when you get stuff like this, it's just it's my bedtime stories. It keeps me going and keeps me creating even better and better technology.
Okay, well now I know that there's so much that we can learn from you. I cannot wait to actually hear about the special offer that you created for everyone listening to this call. So I highly encourage everyone to go to Jeff's special offer right now to experience it for yourself. To experience today's package, all you have to do is click on the special offer button on this webpage. So Jeff, can you let everyone know what they'll find there?
Well, what you're going to find there is a brainwave stimulation and entrainment program called Deep Conscious Awakening that I've created specifically for everyone that has been struggling to get results with the law of attraction or achieving their goals, and that's been struggling to create the success they've been looking for. I've designed the Deep Conscious Awakening to stimulate the brain in such a way that will allow you to create and maintain the right feelings and emotions that act as the primary attractor force for creating the life you want to live. Now, this program also works equally as well for people that are already getting results but want to speed the process up and make it easier at the same time. And it works for them too, because again, the number one reason that we struggle or we slow down really all comes down to disorganized and chaotic beta brainwave patterns, right, that slow us down from creating the necessary emotional states. So as soon as you get free from what many people call that monkey brain and start creating highly organized, conscious brainwave activity more often, what you're going to find is that your natural ability to feel the way you want to feel when you want to feel it will awaken in you, and it'll give you the ability to aim the law of attraction and to achieve your goals like never before. Now, there's a couple other great features about this program that I want to mention. And number one, it's really easy to use, and this is critically important. What you do is you just grab one of the 20-minute audios and you listen to it, and the technology will do the rest. It's passive in that way. All you have to do is listen, either once, 2, or 3 times per day. Most people find that once or twice a day produce the best results, and that's all you need to do. I've created also for the very first time AM and PM versions of the core audio. So depending on when you want to listen, you'll always get the maximum effect, because the needs of the brain, this is what we found in all the research we've done, the needs of the brains and the challenges that people face are very different in the AM than they are in the PM. So by providing very specific, tailored brainwave stimulation that is designed to address these differences, you will get a significant advantage. The third reason is that for the level of sophistication and technology that's jam-packed into these 20-minute audios, they're absolutely beautiful to listen to. I worked with a great composer from Australia to create multidimensional 3D landscapes that make using this technology not only easier, but more effective than ever before. So in other words, you will love to listen to these audios. A lot of times brainwave entrainment technology, brainwave stimulation technology is very hard to listen to. Well, this is the exact opposite. You'll actually want to go listen to these. The Deep Conscious Awakening is really the most comprehensive brainwave training program I've ever developed. And that's saying a lot. I've created over 100 programs over my career. And I'll tell you, I am really proud of this program. And I think when you experience it for yourself, you will understand why I'm so proud of it. You'll feel it right away, right from the very first time you start to use it.
Well, thank you. We definitely appreciate it. If you haven't done it yet, just click on the special offer button on this page to see for yourself what an amazing package this is. You will be so glad you did. It looks like an amazing offer. I thank you so much for that. Jeff, this has been extraordinary, and I could see why literally thousands of people have sought you out. And as I said in the introduction, not just individuals, but corporations, even government-funded agencies. And now I see why, because what you've given us is extraordinary. Thank you for that direct experience that you gave us. And I just want to encourage everyone once again to go to yourlifewithoutlimits.com/deep awakening and experience this for yourself. So thank you. Really, I just can't even imagine the ways this is going to enhance everyone's life. So really, you are just an extraordinary individual. Thank you for doing the scientific research so it shows the actual changes that take place in people's brains. It's just absolutely amazing. So before we sign off, is there anything else that you'd like to share? Any parting words?
Well, yeah, I want to thank you, Debra. I want to thank for all the people that have called me, right, that brought me here. And I want to thank everybody for their time and listening and letting me share. And what I would like to do is just offer you and everyone a blessing. And that is that I wish you all the peace, prosperity, happiness, success, and health that you can handle. And that as you achieve it, I hope that you go and share it with everybody that you love in your life.
Beautiful, as you have done. So we thank you for being your extraordinary self. And will you come back again?
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. And thank you to everyone for spending this time with me and with Jeff Gignac. And I look forward to when we are all together again and to you living your life without limits. This is Debra Poneman. Have a wonderful rest of your day.